Hello everyone. Today I want you to watch this video from Mizoram. She's a lady from Mizoram and she talks about, the railway. If there is a railway connected to Mizoram, then there's a danger of outsiders flooding into the state of Mizoram. I mean, and the opinion of people on her comments is so divided. Some bashed her up, through verbally, and some are supporting her. And let's try to understand this. I want you to watch this video once with me.
Great people and the people who know their surroundings, who have been exposed to, outside the state, they know that the railway is not the most important and the best thing to be happening in Mizoram because
So she said that people who are literate and who have been exposed to the outside and who have had experience of the outside world, they know that railway is not the best thing to happen in Mizoram, because there are many issues that can come along with the introduction of railway in a state like Mizoram. And let's see what she says about the reason, because it's because there's a reason, and what is that reason? Let's just listen to her.
because of the railways, number one, we'll have a lot of influx of non-Mizos, many people from the plains, they'll have access to our land. And the second thing,
So the first reason that she gives is lot of influx of non-Mizos from outside will happen. So, and when she refers to non-Mizos, she's not referring to the Nagas, and she's not referring to the Kasi, or she's not referring to Manipuri as such, but I think she's referring to people from the mainland India. Let's say the plain area. When you refer to the people from mainland India, like we call them plain people. So that's what people normally use the term in order to refer to those people. So she said there will be influx of people from plain area who are non-Mizos, and they will have access to our lands. And so what happens if they have access to our lands? Let's listen to her.
to our land. And the second thing is most of our forests are going to be destroyed.
I think she said, the forest, the nature, and ecosystem biodiversity will be damaged or will be reduced and can be destroyed. So that's somehow her concern as the second reason. And I think outsiders coming and accessing to their lands is also a little concern as far as I understand her properly. So that means when outsiders come and have access to the land, that means the people can be outnumbered. Let's say the local Mizos can be outnumbered. So I think it's honestly, it may not sound very politically correct, but I think it is sometimes a very genuine concern as well. You know why? Because if we look at the population of Mizoram, the Mizos are around 1.25 millions, means 10 lakhs and above. But let's take the example of, for example, the floodgate, or there's a railway line connected to Mizoram, and let's say there are hundreds and thousands of people flooding into the state, like we have seen in Tripura, we're seeing in Arunachal Pradesh, although there's no railway yet, I guess, and we have seen in Dimapur of Nagaland, where there will be thousands and hundreds of thousands of people flooding into the state. Yes, with the coming of railway, it's easier for people to migrate and to go to that state, to that place, to that region. So I think her concern is serious. When, for example, West Bengal, the Bengalis are the West Bengal are total has a population of about 99 million people at this moment, and Mizoram is just 1.25 million, which means there is a danger of getting outnumbered by outsiders if the floodgate is open. That's a serious concern. Why it's a serious concern? Because it's constitutional. According to the Constitution of India, Article 371G. 371G is a special provision given to the state of Mizoram. So let me just read out for you. Article 371G is a special provision given to the state of Mizoram, and which says that notwithstanding anything in this constitution, no act of parliament is in respect of 1. A religious or social practices of the Mizos, and Mizo customary law and procedure, administration of civil and criminal justice involving decisions according to Mizo customary law, and ownership and transfer of land shall apply to the state of Mizoram unless the Legislative Assembly of the state of Mizoram by a resolution so decides. That means no act of parliament which is related to social practices, religious practices, and ownership and transfer of lands shall be applicable. No such act of parliament will be applicable to Mizoram in this respect. I think that is a special provision given the state of Mizoram. I think, as far as my understanding is concerned, among the northeastern region, Mizoram will be the state which has the least outsiders population. they are populated by the Mizos. Mostly you will see Mizo shops, Mizo mechanics, or Mizo cleaning groups, Mizo construction workers. So you will see a lot of Mizo taxi drivers, and so on. Because I don't know whether how they decided that, but as far as my understanding and observation is concerned, I think they are they feel so protected. They want to protect for themselves, and they want to stay aloof, not necessarily with an idea or feeling of secessionism. However, or in other words, secession. That not necessarily the idea of secession, but I think they really want to keep their culture. They want to keep their people and politics just for the Mizo themselves. And I think that does not mean they're unconstitutional, because that kind of thing, arrangement, is already given to them by the Constitution of India, Article 371G, like the Nagaland has Article 371A. So there's a special provisions given to the small ethnic groups of the northeastern states in order to restore peace. Because the reason they were given was in the year 1986, they signed a Mizo Peace Accord during the Rajiv Gandhi's prime ministership. So as soon as they signed that, the Mizo National Front, the insurgency group, or Mizo nationalists who were armed nationalists who were fighting the Union of India to get freedom and independence from the state of India, they got really agitated. They felt so agitated, and they started protesting against the government of India by using arms and ammunition. The reason was because from 1950s they started suffering from a great famine known as Mautam famine in Mizoram. But I think they felt neglected, and they felt neglected that the government of India could not come on time to help them during famine. So they started developing the idea of their own Mizo nationalism. However, with the Mizo Peace Accord in 1986, they surrendered and they become fully merged with India, and they moved on from as a union territory to full-fledged state in 1986. And then that's a beautiful thing, I think. But with the accord being signed in 1986 with the Rajiv Gandhi government, with the government of India, they were provided with this Article 371C by the Parliament of India. So nothing that is related to Mizo customary laws, Mizo social life, Mizo religious life practices will be applicable to the state of Mizoram. So that's the provision given to them. I think you will have different opinion on why this lady sounds politically incorrect. I mean, you have your own judgment, but I think Mizos are different in that sense, and they feel like they're independent of themselves. They're independent as in not politically, but culturally, in terms of ethnically, they are independent of other parts of the country. And I think that plays a huge role in shaping their mentality towards all of these statements. I think, I don't think this video is being made after thoroughly considering every aspect of what she's going to say. I think, as far as I understand, she spoke about this on the road, just, instantly, impromptu statement that she made impulsively. But I think that's the general feeling of the Mizos, that's as far as I understand, because they're different from the rest of India, and for outsiders it's difficult for them because they don't even speak English as their common language. They speak Mizo. If you watch Mizo video, if you watch Mizo song, you will hardly come across any Mizo singing English songs. They will sing mostly Mizo songs and Mizo music. And I think also at the same time, if you find Mizo speaking on YouTube or internet and everywhere, you will hardly see any Mizo speaking among themselves in English. But in a state in a state like Nagaland, Manipur, Meghalaya, English becomes the common language in many official occasions. But in Mizoram, even in their official occasion among themselves, they would speak, and they would prefer to speak Mizoram. I think that is their choice, as long as they're not unconstitutional. There's nothing we can talk about this. There's nothing we can say about this. I have seen lots of comments bashing her on this video, under this video, in the comment section. However, it's okay. Everyone has the right to express. As much as she has the right to express, people who are commenting in the comment section also have the right to express. But I think what's important here is that we need to have more debates and discussions about being protected by the law. At the same time, the idea of the Union of India and idea of the integration of the feelings as an Indians. I think that's also equally important when we discuss about these things, because when you have one nation and when our emotions and feelings are not integrated, then that can also be a challenge sometimes. But I think this is a topic for further discussions. I'm not I'm not giving any conclusions here tonight, but I think we can listen to this, and I would like to understand your opinion as well. Please feel free and share. I think whatever Mizos are feeling right now, it has their historical impact. It has their historical significance. I think their history also influences them a lot on why they are thinking what they are thinking right now. So this is a great important for discussion, and I would like to see your thoughts as well in the comment section. Do provide your comment, and I'll see you soon again.